Hello everyone, my name is Satish. Currently I am pursuing my BTech third year at Vision Institute of Technology, Bhimavaram, in the stream of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Today in this video I am going to explain about closures in JavaScript, and I am going to explain about callbacks, promises, and async await operations in JavaScript, and finally I am going to implement a to-do list using closures concept in JavaScript. So first let us discuss about closures in JavaScript. Closures in JavaScript is nothing but a function which had access to the variables outside or outer scope of the inner function. So let's say it is a latex scope. So the inner function has the access of the variables of the outer function. So first let us discuss this with an example. So the closure will provide us a function, a state, so that it can maintain a state and store variables without re-rendering it. So let us discuss this with an example. So in this example, here we had a increment function. The count as initial was 0, and I had incremented the count by 1 and locked the count to the console. And later on I have called the increment in the outer scope. So let's see what will be the output of this code. One, so restart this. So the output is 1. So once again when we call this function, the output should be 2. So let's see what will be the output. So we are not getting the output as 2 because the JavaScript will automatically remove the function from the environment after the completion of this code. So again the function will be called re-rendered from the initial state so that it has no state. So to avoid this, the JavaScript will be provide us a feature called closures. So let's see how we can access it. So to access it, first we need to have a outer function. Let's say function outer. So in this function, let's take initial count as 0. Let's cut it from here and paste it here. And here we should have an inner function. Let's take this function as an inner function. So in this inner function, I am increment the count value by 1, and I am returning the return count, and the outer function should return the inner function. So let's return it. Return increment. So I am returning the increment from the outer function. Now I should assign the outer function to a variable. Let's say counter outer outer, saving it, and I have to remove this too. Now let's call the function counter, and let's see what will be the output of this. Let's I'm getting 1. Once again I will call the same function, and let's see what will be the output. So here we can see that the state has been updated from 1 to 2. Once again I have paste it and see what will be happening. So that here we can say that the count value is set and it has a state, so that it is not starting from 1, it is incrementing the count by 1 every time when we call the function. So finally we can say that closure will provide as a state to the function, and it will allow the function to maintain a state and also provide a privacy to the variables in the function. So this is about the closures. Now let's discuss about async operations in JavaScript. There are different types of async operations in JavaScript. basically the most least preferred is callbacks. Callbacks is nothing but a function which takes another function as an argument in it. So let's see, discuss this one with an example. So we can see that a callback is a function passed to another function as an argument, and it is executed of some time. So that's this. Here we had a function display and it's taking an argument and it's logging to the console. And we had another function calculator num1, num2 and callback and a callback function. So here this is a callback function which can be used to do a specific task in in this function. So in the calculator, in this example, we had a calculator function. So this callback will do perform some task in the calculator function. So here we had some variable and it is adding num1 and num2, and here we are passing a sum value to the call as the argument to the callback. So here the callback function is for us it is display. So it will log the argument to the console. So in this case, when we give sum as argument to the callback, it will display the output in the console. So let's see the output. Mm, the one callback, callback .js. So here you can see that it is displaying 59 in the console. So basically callback is nothing but it's a callback function is nothing but a function which is given as an argument to another function is known as a callback function. So this is the least preferred way of asynchronous operation. It is simple, but if we had a same type of function to do again and again, it will be a callback hell. So the lines of code will be increasing and there will be um, a callback hell in the code. So to avoid this, in the later versions of JavaScript, it introduced the promises. So now let us discuss about the promises. Promises are a more elegant way to handle asynchronous operations, which means unlike callback functions, this is also a callback function, but it will return a promise which has three states like pending, fulfilled, or rejected. If the promise is fulfilled, it will return the resolve object. If the promise is failed, it will return the reject one, and the process in which the task is performed is known as a pending state. So let's see with an example. Here we had a function fetch data which returns a promise, and the promise has two a callback function which has resolve and reject, and it has a set timeout of 2 seconds, and after 2 seconds it has been resolved, so it has been fulfilled, and it is sending a message, sending a text saying that data has been fetched from the server. So when we call the fetch data function and dot then, so if the function has been successfully executed, then it should uh, return a response. So it will print the data fetched from the server and processing data. And again, if the status is if the statement is success, then it will execute the statement. And if this statement is also executed successfully, then it will execute this. And finally, if there is an error in the execution of the above statements, then it will return to the catch block and it will return the error statements. So let us execute this code and let us see what will be output in the console. First, let us clear the terminal and fall back. So here we can see that it is waiting for 2 seconds and then it is displaying the data fetched from the server, and later on it is displaying the processing data. So this is how the promises work. So basically promise is nothing but it will return a statement when it is resolved, and if it is rejected then also it will return a statement. So which helps in dealing with the APIs in the backend or in the fetching data from the servers. So in this will also helps. This is also somewhat complex, and later on in ES8 the JavaScript developers has introduced a concept called async and await, all asynchronous operations, which helps the developer to write the code faster and it is readable to the developers. So let's see what is an async and await. So here we can see that the here we had a fetch data function which returns a promise object, and here we had a function handle data which is an asynchronous function, and in this function we had a try and catch block, and this try block we had a variable data which is having a wait and fetch data. So this try block to the this entire code will wait until the fetch data has been resolved or rejected. If this the remaining line of code in the try block will wait until this line of code is executed. So this is a asynchronous. This is not. So this is an asynchronous way. So after fetching the data from the this fun this function, then it will log the data to the console, and later on it will print the processing data and the display data. If there is a rejection in in the execution of this line, then it will automatically go into the catch block and print the error in the console. So this is how the async and await function works. Basically, async and await is a synchronous function which helps in easily writing the code and it will provide easily reliability to the users. So it is basically a renewed version of promises. So let's see what will be the output of this code. Mm, let's say one and wait js.js. So here we can see that it is waiting for 2 seconds because here we have set the timeout for 2 seconds. So then it has been resolved. After 2 seconds, it has been resolved and sending the data fetched from the server to the resolve object, and later on it is executing the next step of lines. And this is about async and await functions. And finally, we had a to-do app using JavaScript closures. So let us see that. So this is a to-do app with JavaScript closures, and here we had a outer function create to-do list, and inside that we had a variable tasks with an initial value as empty array, and here we had inner functions. Different we had three inner functions. Let's say first one as add task, which takes an argument and push the argument to the tasks array, and second function get tasks, which returns the tasks from the tasks array, and finally we had a remove task function which will remove the specific task from the tasks array. So I had initialized the to-do list, create to-do list to a variable. Now let us execute one by one function one by one. So first I will add a task to the task list. Let's say my to-do dot add tasks. Let's say give it as first task. first task, and let's see it has been added or to the task list or not. My to-do list dot get tasks. Now we will log this to the console.log. Now let's see one to-do.js. So here we can see that first task has been added successfully to the list. Now let's add some more tasks to the list. Second task, third task, and let's see if the tasks added has been added to the list or not. So here we can see that the task that we had assigned is successfully added to the list. So now let us remove a task from the list, and let's see as it is working or not. Let's remove tasks. Let's copy this and put it here, and let's run it down. So here we can see that before removing a task, this is the these are the tasks that are available in the list. After removing a task, these are the tasks that are available in the list. So this is the basic to-do list using JavaScript closure functions. So this is all about this video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.